Hi, Victoria here, author of Zest for Success, director of the Bookkeeper Hub and HBA Encompass, back in my car studio again, and we're still talking about staff. In our last episode, we talked about making sure that you employ for the role, not for the person, and then determining whether you need an employee or a contractor, and if in fact the person that you're employing is a contractor, what steps that you need to make. So next on the agenda is to talk about outsourcing. And I know we have covered it in several other episodes, but I just wanted to bring that up to remind you that in your role as a business owner, you can't do absolutely everything yourself. And there are some tasks that have to be outsourced. Now, it could be something that you're not good at or something that you don't like. Whatever it is that's needed to free your time up to do the best that you're at within your business is what needs to be outsourced. Now, when I talk about outsourcing, I'm not necessarily talking about India or China or the Philippines or wherever it happens to be. It can be in Australia. I perhaps do go off on tangents and talk about how cheap it is in other countries, and some people get their backups about that. But I just wanted to give you my take on that. And that is that if I can get the repetitive work that I don't like doing done by somebody else in another country cheaper than I can get it done here, I can then grow my business and employ people with skills to do whatever it needs to be to service my customers. And ultimately, having a virtual assistant in the Philippines or a marketing person in the Philippines will allow me, particularly at the Bookkeeper Hub, to employ more local bookkeepers, which will actually benefit the economy more than me paying more for the services that I need and slowing the growth of my business and ultimately not being able to employ as many bookkeepers as I would like to because I don't have the sales coming in. So that's my take on outsourcing and outsourcing overseas. A couple of the great tools that I've used have been Upwork and Fiverr. All I can say to you is that when you do use these tools, it's exactly the same as looking for staff in Australia. There's heaps and heaps of people that apply. Some are good eggs, some are bad eggs, and sometimes you can't tell what kind of egg it is until you've employed them. The benefit on having an outsourced contractor like that is it's generally a very, very low outlay, and you can try several until you find one that suits you and suits your needs and has the skills that are necessary without wasting hundreds or thousands of dollars. And also, there's no requirement that you have to keep these people on for a probation or whatever it is, that you can, if you find someone who doesn't suit, you just end the contract, pay them what they're due and move on. So outsourcing to me is an amazing opportunity, and the likes of Fiverr and Upwork are very, very handy. If you've ever heard of Elance or Odesk, Upwork is the new merge of the two of them. So when you engage a staff member, whether it be an outsourced person, a contractor or a staff member, there's a process that you need to go to. I mentioned yesterday about employing for the position, not creating the position for the person. So going through, working out the skills and requirements that you need your potential employee to have, going through an interview process or advertising first, whether it be on Seek or in the paper or Facebook or LinkedIn or Upwork or Fiverr, whatever way you're going to do it, advertising, getting the applicants in, then going through them and putting them in piles, working out who meets the criteria till you dwindle it down to a short list. Once you've found that short list is when you do your interviews, and then I usually rank 1 to 5, start at 5, try them out, and then hopefully if they're a good match, keep them. If not, end the contract and move on to 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. So it's important that you do that. So from my point of view, outsourcing is definitely the way to go. My task for you today is to have a look at all the repetitive jobs that you do that you don't need to do, that you could get someone else to do. Make a process so it's an easy to follow process for them to do whatever it is that they need to, and then try one of the outsourcing ideas test a few people out and see how you go. If you want some help on writing your job ad or your placement on Upwork, you can always email me. I'm more than happy to help. I do have a couple of tricks. admin@bookkeeperhub.com.au. And while I'm on those tricks, just remember that a lot of the jobs that are applied for or automatically replied to by artificial intelligence or bots. So I always make one of the requirements that they must have a cover letter, and I ask a couple of really random questions, like what colour is the sky where you are at the moment? Because the bots can't do that, and then you can tell whether it's a real person that you're talking to, and ideally they'll reply and say, it's dark where I am in Alabama because it's night time, or it's grey because it's snowing, or whatever it happens to be. And when you get those kind of replies, you know that you're talking to a person who's going to listen to what you say and have a think. So that's all I've got on outsourcing for today, and a little bit on engaging staff, and I'll see you on the other side.